never really doubt, and it's nice to see them mix some early games in as well. We are in the Champs League tier. We'll see what happens. Team Secret on the blue side here for the first one. It's eBRO over on the red.
And we've got two teams that love to get spicy in the team fights, which I think should be our main lead into this game. We have to talk about Team Secret's constant late-game team fight threat, oftentimes coming out of Chewy and Tatsuri. Both love playing scaling characters and tend to really show up once we get past that 10 to 15 minute mark. And they're playing into a team in eBRO that's never going to turn down a team fight.
Yep.
But do also look especially good once we get to that late game. In particular, I'm going to highlight Kite, who, coming in late game, oftentimes on characters like Xayah, benefits from the inherent scaling of those characters, and from the fact that his team likes to build tanks around him. Just set up front lines. Both these teams are very similar in that way.
Yeah, a little scrap. Definitely eBRO not one to shy away from any sort of scuffle. So I imagine we'll be drafting pretty similarly there. We do have Rakan, Renekton, and Galio all taken off the board. Lee Sin, Camille on the other side. Have just seen so many different Baron laners get taken away, but Ziggs has definitely been the other mainstay of the ban table in many games, and that will be taken as the final ban here in this game, and that leaves Fiora wide on open.
Wide open indeed. With the Fiora locked in, you can expect that to be thrown over to Azur, who is one of Team Secret's secret weapons. He's intermediately the best player on the team, and sometimes just a stable carry. And the great thing about Team Secret is they have that flexibility. It can be Tatsuri that steps up and carries a game. It can be Azur that steps up and carries a game. Chewy, the insurance policy, safe in that bottom lane, farming, and it's down to the way the game goes as to where they put the emphasis.
All right, well, Riven actually going to be locked in here. I think this is the first time both Fiora and Riven have been allowed into a game so far in Horizon Cup, so curious to see those two powerful champions battle here in this one. But Twisted Fate, I feel like every team is a Twisted Fate player. Unsurprising pick there from eBRO.
Twisted Fate is really good because he can kind of repair macro mistakes. He's like a Control-Z button on your gameplay. Because if something goes wrong, if you get out-rotated, if you've got 3-4 players suddenly ganking your bottom lane, Twisted Fate's the only character in the game that can reliably respond to that on the opposite side of the map or teleport into the fight himself. You obviously have other global movement and stuff like Pantheon, but they don't have the pure impact that Twisted Fate does.
You know, if you're trying to show up to every party, TJ, Twisted Fate a good one to bring along there.
Party animal.
Gragas Varus. I mean, if this one, eBRO is definitely, as far as in-game at least, obviously can't speak for their personal lives, but in-game they're definitely showing up to every single festival that sprouts on the Rift.
And we got another party boy here as Akshan joins. Akshan, a little bit more of a late game threat. This will probably be given to Kite because it kind of fits into that Xayah mold I set up for you. I really like the pickup of Nunu here as well. This fits what we expect from eBRO gaming. They're going to have a tanky frontline. They're going to have a late game scaling insurance policy over on Kite. The interesting part of it is, to me, is the adaptation here to the Horizon meta, bringing out the Twisted Fate, bringing out the Riven, characters that are going to give them a little bit more mid-game skirmishing power.
Yeah, definitely like Nunu kind of joining the party train here. Definitely another bro that likes to show up at any single moment. Orianna continuing to get, I would say, a somewhat surprising amount of presence. I thought we'd see a lot more assassins in mid lane, but definitely Orianna seems to be a stable pick of a lot of these teams because people, again, they like to brawl. Lots of 5v5 so far this tournament.
I mean, she's good in the late game. She's especially good in late game team fights. When you have a player like Tatsuri, you want to give him tools to add value. And at range, it's going to be a very safe pick as well into the Twisted Fate, which I think is the big appeal. You can clear a wave without being at risk of getting gold carded and shut down. I do also hit on something else from the Team Secret draft. This is James' Gragas. General James getting his key character. You'll see a lot of his Gragas roaming on the map early, arriving in side lanes and delivering massive explosive casks to set up for ganks. That's going to be key for this team, because it is a lot of their engage. You're looking at the explosive cask, you're looking at the chain of corruption, and now this Jax coming through at the very end to start these fights. And kind of only the Jax is going to be the major ball carrier to get those Tatsuri Orianna balls into the back lines of these team fights.
Tatsuri does the job on his own as well. Definitely a very competent mid laner here. Last pick is Lulu. So eBRO is definitely bolstering the kind of late game power of Akshan and definitely building into that 5v5 once again. I mean, they have a little bit of a bridge here with the Twisted Fate and the Riven, and Nuno, I guess, can be pretty active if he wants to in the early game.
Yeah.
But it's, again, a lot of leaning on the fact that they just want to fight often anyway.
I really like this eBRO draft. I think this is very good for the way they want to play, which is all the time fight.
Yep.
Because, yeah, Nuno shows up early. People think of him as a late game tank, and he certainly is that, making him one of the more interesting and powerful junglers in the meta right now. But he also can do a little bit of Lee Sin. He can do a little bit of a scuffed Lee Sin cosplay in the first couple moments of the game and show up in lanes with the snowball, providing stuns and enabling early kills. Particularly look at that mid-jungle duo with Teeks. If they can set up for early gold card-enabled kills, they'll get off to a very scary mid-game, and the second eBRO have a lead, their team fights get easier. And the second their team fights get easier, that's a team you got to watch out for. We could have an upset here on the main stage.
Yeah, it's not something I think we'll see from eBRO, but I think the other Nuno look we got was from Thundertalk, actually, and they used it as kind of a trio just to zone people out and let the sideliners happen, right? So I think Nuno does give you a lot of value.
Flexible.
Yeah, really flexible. Kind of like a support jungler, right? So kind of adds to a lot of different styles, very reliable as a frontliner, and again, a frequent party goer, which for a lot of these teams here at Horizon Cup is something they're looking for.
Which one would you invite to the party, Nuno or Willem?
Both. They have to be both.
You are absolutely right, Pastry, and I am sorry for
They
doubting.
bring twice as many drinks. It just makes sense. You bring Gragas along as well, you know? Get a real...
A little too loud.
That's true. It might be a little too. It is, you know, late... I don't know where we are. I don't know what day it is anymore. I'm not even going to pretend to remember what day it is.
Either.
It's all fun here.
We do have a very interesting draft over on the Team Secret side as well, though, and I fear that we have somewhat neglected it because while there's this entire philosophy of fight, fight, fight for eBRO, Team Secret have drafted some tools to disengage from that, and I think that's very important to highlight. You have between the Explosive Catch, the Chain of Corruption, and the Orianna Shockwave, and to be fair, the Jax as well, a whole lot of things that could shut down Engage.
All right.
So I want to see them do exactly that.
Excited to see what happens here. Level 1 could get a little frisky. eBRO grouping up here as Teeks has Ghost, but as a reminder, make sure you don't miss out on content that you're already paying for by linking your Prime account with your Wild Rift account, where you will receive, a random skin chest thanks to our friends over at Prime Gaming.
I think it comes down a lot to the way that eBRO find these early couple of levels. I'm looking in particular at Teeks and at Azez to get early value.
All right, we'll see what happens early on. Had a little bit of a visit in mid, but that does peter out pretty quickly, as suspected it is Jack's jungle. You know, flipping around is going to be kind of the expected roles for those champions.
Trevor hasn't historically been the most aggressive jungler, but I think that works out for Jax, who really does want to farm for a lot of the games, so we probably won't see too much early ganking from him, but that's okay.
Nice little trade there on Az's side. As you said, definitely kind of a hidden carry sometimes for Secret, so eyes on the Fiora, who's an extremely powerful champion. We barely see her get through any drafts. She has won, I think, the one game she got let through in, so definitely eyes on Azza there to be a key piece for Secret in the mid-game especially.
This is a really good matchup for Azure as well. As a snowball arrives early.
Oh goodness, almost curves around the corner there, but not quite enough. But you can see the pressure that Nuno is able to put on.
I heard the tires squeal on the Nuno snowball as he tried to drift around the corner. And we do have a counter gank here. Trevor also arriving down bottom.
I think Nuno must have visited again.
Yeah.
Because that's a deaf Fiora on my screen.
We didn't catch it on camera, but I believe a lot of that came from Arche finding a very risky engage, the sort of thing that gets you killed, judging by how quickly the HP bars went down. But because he took that sacrifice play, it worked out. Here we go. Yeah, deep dive in. He takes the hit. He lands the stun. And that's all we get to see, because there's another dive at the bottom lane.
Gonna have to complete the 50% of the play in our mind's eye, TJ, because Team Secret are trying to apply pressure here to that bottom side. Trevor with a visit. Doesn't quite find it between the two towers, but does at least, you know, make him think about it there in the bottom lane. Yeah,
and it is a little out of character to see Trevor going for those kinds of dives, so Team Secret obviously trying to get a little proactive here. Another gank on its way here.
Once again, the snowball's there. Oh, riposte wearing off is not a good time. Azardo is going to be chased down there. There's the easy route, and that's the easier kill. Nice one there on the top side for eBRO.
eBRO have watched a Thunder Talk game And they know that if you put gold in this Riven, it's going to be real scary, putting so many resources to make sure that Azure, who is a fairly favorable matchup, at the very least a survivable matchup with that Fiora into this top lane Riven. This is very solid. The Fiora normally does very well into Riven. So you're just constantly re-ganking that lane, and if you can get Riven through the first 5 minutes of the game, it doesn't matter that the lane matchup's all right, because the map matchup is terrible against Fiora.
Yeah, and the thing is, you look at the gold, you say, oh, that's pretty nice. Like, still, even despite the 2 kills, well, Riven has all that lead. It's 1,000 gold up right now in the top side for that Riven in the 1v1. So probably only going to get worse there for Azar in the top lane. We'll have to see how the lane develops, especially since we did highlight Fiora as being such an essential champion.
I do want to talk about the opposite side of this map. Chewy, who is playing one of his best characters, the Varus. This lane matchup is also getting prioritized. We saw Trevor come down here. They didn't get any kills, but Kite missed out on an entire wave, so he's significantly behind in gold. And that feels like the way this game is going to play out at this point. Team Secret losing the top lane, going to be scared of the team fights. This Riven gets very big as this composition comes online for eBRO, but they have the tools to keep those team fights at arm's length, poke in with the Varus arrows, play an anti-melee composition, as our good friend Dick Scoundrel would say.
All right, well, I thought that, kind of with that map split, we were going to see a very quick start on the Herald here for eBros, but instead, just going to take the crab there for EZs and just back off the gas a little bit here. Team Secret are grouping around mid, maybe wanting to contest there. They have TF as well, though, on their side, so Teeks can join a fight very swiftly if one does erupt around the objective. And we've kind of flip-flopped the sides of the map we were strong on, as eBros are now overloading this right-hand side.
Yeah, eBRO trying to repair this Akshan. And I'm not sure how I feel about it, because Akshan is the kind of character, the kind of carry that if they don't have a lead, it's very hard to play. Because you need enough gold to step into the front line and threaten for the resets to get full value out of them. Otherwise, you're just sitting at the back of the fight providing soak, which is not terrible, but it's not the greatest use. Here's a Rift Herald.
Apparently decided that the Herald was worth it in the end, but the fight is on for Secret. Herald goes over to Nunu, but can they get out safely? Justly in the top side is in trouble. Shockwave doesn't quite connect. Nice flash there is going to keep H alive for a little bit longer, but there's the kill that Varus is looking for the whole time, as Secret will trade 1 for that Herald.
And you see the power of this composition from Team Secret in that fight, as it's very difficult to walk up to Chewy. He's just able to spend that fight chilling, throwing out arrows, living his best life, and there's nothing eBRO can do to really access him, and when they try to step forward, Hache goes down. They did get this Rift Herald, though. That's going to charge against the mid-turret and get a little bit more gold onto the other side.
Oh, no, he took aggro. That's a tragedy. Varus just collects the sitter there, gifted over under the mid-tower.
Chewy being a bro, though.
Yeah?
Catching the full ult. Little sad for Ezez, but life be like that sometimes. Here's another look at the full team fight. Hama's starting this off around the top side. Chases away Jastly, chases away a lot of the defense. And then as you can see, when the pressure is coming in from Hache, he's zoned back by the Shockwave. Ideally, you want the Shockwave to land, but it's the Shockwave, it's the arrows, it's the presence of the tank frontline that just keeps everything away from Chewy.
eBRO is doubling down on their objectives. They already have the Herald. I think they may have dropped already in mid by the looks of things. So gonna go for this Dragon. We'll be able to get it. That Ocean is theirs, as they do claim that first break off the Rift. But that gold's starting to slip away a little bit. That first little skirmish win kind of feels like it's letting Secret into this mid-game a little bit more than eBROs would have wanted.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good mid-game for Secret. It is so scary for Team Secret, because if they mess up once, if they go into one team fight unprepared, it goes bad. But eBRO are struggling to make that happen, and Kite...
Oh, that's not a spot you want to be in. Tamez, of course, on the signature pick, an easy body slam, and a slap down there from Trevor.
He threw out the grappling hook, but there was nothing in range, and the second you've lost your mobility as an Akshan, you are just dead.
And definitely evident there on the screen.
One of the reasons you see a little bit more priority put towards things like Vayne, who can survive that experiment.
Alright, top side once again. It's more action. Oh, it's less action. It's apparently Nunu loving every tower hit in the game.
Medium-sized amount of action. As takes a couple of turret shots. The gold card doesn't get in range, so Tatsuri can just walk through it all.
Now Secret gank of their own, wrapping around mid here. Kite in trouble. Chewy. He's going to get defended there by the Twist of Fate. Ulti straight in we go! Gold card into the rest of the team, and that's a kill! Gifted on a silver platter for Kite. Very nicely done from eBROs.
More team fighting. eBRO benefit from that Destiny teleport on Teeks. He arrives right within gold card range, and for the first time this game, eBRO get to fight on their own terms. The gold card lands, they have the full damage burst they're looking for, and the only thing Team Secret can do is back away, which they do correctly. They manage to disengage in time, but it shows how scary eBRO are within range.
Needed gold there, so just one again. I thought this was a one-way trip here for the Twist of Fate.
Lands the gold card, and there's just nothing to do. Really good target selection as well onto Chewy, making sure that the main source of long-range damage is away.
Oh, we're at it again. Grappling hook over. Stun is going to land out of the Twist of Fate. The snowball, good. But Azar gets away, forced to burn the flash, though. Tower goes down. Harmez is there, and now Nunu's getting in there. Absolute Zero is going to try and reduce their health bar to just that as Harmez in trouble. Red card's not the one, but it's not going to matter. Oh, Fiora knocked over the wild growth. Did Azar give a second away? He sacrificed his own life for the support.
Justly, that's so good! The wild growth timing manages to interrupt the re-engage. And Azar's gone. eBRO have managed to string together a couple of plays. The tempo advantage they earned in the mid lane immediately converted. They spend that in-store currency down in the bottom lane, get a very good deal on a turret, and everything is going well for them.
And the map not even as open as it could be. It's just the one tower still for eBROs. It is really nice what Secret have been doing to keep their map advantage.
So now Rift Herald 2. If eBRO want to keep this kind of train rolling, they need to fight and win for this Rift Herald. This is a good opportunity for them to get those close range 5v5s that they want. They just need to make sure that Team Secret can't disengage, as they have done previously. Keep them at arm's length with the Jax, with the Varus.
Little mini snowball there as the shadows were popped as well, but eBROs can't get in. It is going to be the Herald over. Destiny a little late. Another Shockwave's going to find one. In the front line they go, diving in for the river, but now a literal 1v5 on the hands. It is going to have to Broken Wings over the wall. Does get out, but not without sacrificing the jungler.
And eBRO are unfortunately a little too slow to make that play. It takes some time to get everybody in position. The Rift Herald's already gone and Team Secret are ready for the aggression. They separate the initial engage, and there's no way for Team Secret's backline to fall under those circumstances.
So again, despite all of the good that eBRO have been doing in a lot of these skirmishes, it is the gold lead starting to grow even further with that Rift Herald as well. Should be even more damage done. It feels like the Fiora and the Jax are getting scary. It feels like Secret are starting to put a throttle on the map they're not letting go of.
Yeah, I mean, they just want to cruise control this more than anything. They want to make sure we don't go too fast. As long as eBRO don't get within range to do any big combos with the Riven, with the Nunu, then there's no way Team Secret lose this game at this pace.
Well, Chewy throws the ulti straight in. Nice little disengage. Shockwave's nice. And the re-engage is there for Secret. Can't find a kill just yet. Wonderful cast out of Harmez, though. And Azar's going to grab the kill as a result. Now Teeks in the front line, going to get queued to death by everybody. Harmez again! Rocket belts in, gets the body slam, and now it's trouble in paradise there as Riven's going to fall and Orianna snags the double.
Harmez fears nothing. He just goes ham. Manages to get so deep behind the turret and convert the kill. And here comes the Rift Herald. This might be the game, Pastry.
Yeah, I can see why this guy is known for the Gragas, because that's some real nice work there out of the support player on Secret. Super Minions now going to spawn through the mid lane. The game isn't over yet, but it kind of feels like it, as we are going to watch the Axe replay here.
Man, what a combo. Chewy landing the Chains of Corruption to deny the initial engage. And Team Secret realize, well, hang on, we've got a combo here. Focus in on SS, force the wild growth, then shift focus immediately to the AD carry because he's no longer protected by the threat of that wild growth. You burn down the damage now, there's no reason not to get in range. And so Harmez takes advantage.
Yeah, Polymorph a little late there from Jastly. Just couldn't stop the Rampage, and Gragas flashing into your backline. And Secret now very far ahead here in this game. What, 8,000 or so? They've got supers forever now in the mid lane. They've got so much pressure over this map, and eBROs know they have to walk over to this side of the map and try and get something happening as Trevor, the jungler, is going to straight 1v1 kill the top laner, and now it could be more here. Is he's just going in? 2v3? Doesn't matter. 2v4, 3v4 with Drew reinforced by Harmez from downtown, just skates on in, and now Jastly kicked back there by the cast, gets absolute carnage.
He's on 3!
Finds a triple kill, and Fiora, not even here, not needed.
He's on 3, and I thought for a moment that Trevor was going to look for more, but having spent his entire kit, he doesn't risk the close range of Akite. And this should be game. as Team Secret managed to control eBRO across 12 dominant minutes.
Looking good here. Tatsuri just zoning them out of their own Nexus. As Secret are going to guide the minion wave up here in top. Fiora is busy running interference on the bottom side, but it doesn't matter right now as Trevor's going absolutely off. Might matter a bit more as the snowball's rolling down through, but it is grasping at straws. It feels like they're actually not going to find it. Easy's again in trouble. Absolute zero pop. Bahamas tanks it straight in the face. And there's the kill this time for Tatsuri.
And you just get stuck in glue if you try to dive this team. There's no way to access Chewy. He just sits there with a giant field of slime in front of him, like on an old game show. And everyone who tries to run at him just gets stuck in it. And it's either the Shockwave or the Chain of Corruption or the Jax. Trevor just standing there and receiving this pressure. Here's what we didn't see. Hache stepped into this. Hache chose to take this 1v1. And he didn't reckon on what late game Jax does to your forehead.
And then Hermes again, another wonderful play here on the Gragas. Just rocket belt straight into the team.
What a cast.
And another great cast as well. If you don't miss, it turns out very, very proficient on this champion. It's the game. You've said it twice now, TJ. I believe you. It just hasn't happened
All right,
yet.
this time, it should be game.
It's not that they aren't winning, it's just that they haven't exploded the Nexus yet.
Well, I mean, it's the opposite side of this team composition that Team Secret are running. It's really dangerous for them to go for game and push.
Oh, goodness, that was a nice shockwave. Finds two. Flash is burnt, but no follow-up there from Secret.
It's scary to get within range, so it's always, and you see this whenever you see a Varus Orianna composition, these are the kinds of characters that want the other team to walk into their spells, into their range, and they're worse at chasing.
Into maybe this, when they start the Baron, and Easy's going to get zoned out. Baron is now finished, and Hermes is fancy himself another go. Ruckle bounce in. Tatsuri, oh, just straight QWs the Lulu. Hermes is an amazing flash body slam to find two more. A double kill for Fiora and TJ this time. The game is over.
I don't believe it. Third time's the charm. As eBRO are finally pushed back behind their Nexus, and Team Secret will clean things up.
Some nice moments there from eBros, but the overall picture looking very pretty there for Secret.
Yeah, I mean, they understood their composition. They needed to keep that team fight threat at arm's length. They used their CC tools brilliantly. They benefited from Trevor's Jax, who sat in the jungle, farmed until he was ready to fight in the late game. Everything kind of went to plan. And if you're eBRO, you're sitting on the other side of that, and you need to start thinking about how to disrupt a game plan that's just going to be executed to the letter on the page.
And you know, we saw Secret early game yesterday. We know their team fighting. That felt definitely just like a, oh, we got to lead the mid game and we know what to do from here. Very clean execution. Very like strong understanding of the picks they had. I mean, you said it already. I was like, oh yeah, I guess I'll watch this guy's Gragas, and it's just a complete montage from minute 1 to minute 14.
Hermes has this amazing ability to always find the explosive cask that gets behind the enemy team. And I don't know how he does it, because whenever I try to play Gragas, I end up knocking people away from my team. But Hermes has this superpower to always come in on a flank. And I think it's because he's the shot caller for the team. So he has like the picture of the map in his head, and he's able to come in on the side, come in on the flank, have the extra vision.
And, you know, obviously something we'll dive in deeper as the tournament goes on, but I've seen a few Jax games in a row now, and I'm starting to think, you know what? Pick looking pretty good in this metagame.
In a meta where we're not seeing the tools to just destroy the early game, in a meta where so many games are being decided in the late game, picks like Jax are going to be incredibly valuable. And I think what also adds to that is if you're looking at what else is popular, if you're looking at the Vayne, if you're looking at the Riven, again, characters very strong in the late game, Jax answers them both very well. The Jax can jump on the Vayne, chase her down. The Jax can deny the Riven's engage. That's everything you need.
All right, well, Secret for a second time looking very good in the opening game, but now we'll check in with our friends on site in Singapore. We'll see what happens here, see if there are any changes, but we can relax. It was quite a lengthy process last time, although perhaps they're going a little bit faster this time around. Lee Sin off the board.
Yeah, you can expect to see Lee Sin and that sort of thing. Pretty much as standard at this point. It is kind of interesting to me that this Rakan is meriting a ban from Team Secret, because that is just a Hastley focus. He's so good on that specific character, and he had a bit of a rough time on it yesterday. It kind of went very bad for them, as Hastley frankly looked completely out of sorts. He was my highlight player for eBRO coming into this tournament. Very good on the support, very good engages, and just had a bad game, had a bad day. So to see him performing a little bit better today, and not only that, but meriting target bans, I don't know, it's got to feel good.
Yeah, I think if you are Secret though, and you're trying to keep eBRO at distance, taking away all the good engaged supports, feels like a pretty good formula.
Astley unable to play either Galio or Rakan this time round. eBRO on the opposite side, getting rid of the Riven is interesting because they wanted the Riven, so this feels like a kind of tacit admission that it didn't go the way they wanted. Ooh. They don't feel they can win into stuff like the Jacks.
So respecting the twist of fate here was a very nice tool.
That's the commonality here. Just every single engaged tool that's better than good, gone.
And I was going to say that leaves Fiora open, but Ziggs instead is the pick here. And of course, Fiora is the easy response there for Secret.
You get good at this, pastry.
It's almost like I've watched a lot of Games of Wild Rift at this tournament in the last 24 hours.
Interesting Team Secret pull out both Fiora and... see if they can pull out some pocket picks, see if they're competitively viable. eBRO are good, but Team Secret think they have the wiggle room to play at the side of the meta. They're the sort of team that always tries to have one or two secret picks. They're the sort of team that always tries to surprise people in the latter half of tournaments, and this feels like we're getting some testing ground.
Yeah, Katarina, not the champion I expected to see today, but I'm very welcome for any sort of flashy mid laner.
She'll be very good into Ziggs. You can get up close to that Ziggs and just absolutely destroy him, and he of course doesn't have any CC. This team doesn't have any real CC, which is going to make it very, very hard to interrupt Katarina. You basically got to save Nami wave for it. And if you don't land the Nami wave, then the Katarina is just going to chew through the backline every single team fight.
Definitely a fun one to watch. I'm super excited for this draft. I feel like we might get a bit of a faster game here out of Secret. We'll see what happens though.
I mean, it's such a Tatsuri pick as well.
Yeah.
Tatsuri is the kind of mid laner that goes ham every single game.
My kind of mid laner.
Yeah. He's the kind of mid laner you get in solo queue every few games, where you don't really know why you're winning, and then you look over to the mid lane and he's up like 20 kills. That's Tatsuri! And Katarina's the perfect character for him. I just never thought I'd see it in competitive.
I'm basically the same player, but less highly ranked, and you have to flip the first column with the second column.
Right.
And that's me.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think you're
I'm very active. Alrighty then, we'll see if Secret can get all the way there and finish off the series in a sweep, or if eBRO are indeed going to give us and me my third full best of 3 here at Horizon Cup. I know I say it like I'm complaining. I'm not complaining. I'll never complain about more video games.
No, and eBRO have the tools to give it to us here, and also I think kind of slap down Team Secret a little bit. Team Secret trying to use this series as a test bed for their pocket picks, trying to see if Katarina is viable. And if eBRO are able to slap him around, shut him down, you got the possibility to tell him off.
All right, so I was going to say that James is fully testing it by not buying items, but both supports have actually started with boots, which I don't think is something I've seen yet this tournament.
Yeah, we see it a decent amount in Southeast Asia, especially on picks like this Thresh, like Galio is the other character that typically does it, where you're waiting for engage. The boots make it much easier for you to get in and land those hooks. There's also Tsunami. Into Thresh, because you don't want to be hit by either of those slow things. You see spells, the hook, and the bubble.
All right, well, team's just setting up
this
here.
Just sucks. You ever just want to lane into somebody who can keep you at 5 feet range?
Doesn't seem like a very fun time. It's kind of Varus' thing, though.
Yeah.
He stands back and shoots you from a different game away.
Lucian and Navi just desperately trying to get in range. And every time they're going to trade, I would say about even, but the second that hook lands, as it just did.
Prophetic there. Does land there. Trouble in paradise here, though, for the mid laner. But Tig's going to eat some honey fruit and backaways. Trevor did come in early for a gank.
Yeah, so you have kind of what we were talking about happening across the map. This mid lane sucks for Teaks because there's not a whole lot he can do when Tatsuri decides he's going to start gaming. And down bottom, the
gaming.
A
lot of gaming.
Oh! Some wild gaming happens here as well.
But, no kills. Very close there in the 2v2s. They get aggressive. Treble though. Ooh, goodness. Not sure I fancy this one. There's the lantern. Better click on it. Oh, no, it's a bait. Hook's in there. Tatsuri's popping up. He gets himself bubbled up, but he still gets the kill. Now resets. Back around the crowd. Pulls back through. Oh, God, are you kidding me? Tatsuri's going absolutely off. Almost snags the Penta in under 2 minutes. The man's got a triple.
We're 2 minutes into the game. Tatsuri, please. He's already huge! He's just completed his fast pastry!
Alright, well the testing bed is fully open for service here. As we can't even get the replay loaded up fast enough. Had to get paused so we can take a breath here. Trevor I thought was just setting it, but Tatsuri had the bait all along.
Hook lands, so there's nobody to insta-focus Tatsuri. He gets bubbled, which is the dream, and it doesn't even factor. The team's there supporting him. Tatsuri can't die. A triple kill picked up. He's huge, Pastry.
And the Axe replay is a very spicy one here as James gets that kill and then they get the kill topside. But we might get it all here because it's just a win across the board for Secret, and there it is. Flash auto spin on you and kind of a delayed ace for Secret here in 2 minutes.
Oh, just a grin. Just a smug grin. You know, things are going. Oh no!
All right. Well, perhaps we'll keep playing catch up with the replays here.
Can we get a replay of that?
I think we will. We'll have to find out. But Tatsuri finds himself a solo kill there in mid lane. As at this point, every time I see anyone dueling, I just assume they're gonna die. Yeah. No one is safe.
Azure doesn't quite have that kind of damage yet, but you certainly see the dream start for Team Secret to get a little bit more into. Oh, cool, we have a replay. Tatsuri onto Hub.
He just has no health.
And there's just nothing you can do. Like I was talking about this, there's legit no button that Teaks can push that turns that. The game plan there was they were going to bait, and Azez was going to come in and shut him down. But Azez, he's just walking. He's just got long legs, and he's hoping he can keep up. Tatsuri can teleport.
Yeah. Definitely some differences in the champion construction. As Tatsuri level 7 now, this is just terrifying.
Diffie and the champ kitty.
There is definitely a big kid difference. As Trevor even just going for the invade, Ez's just zoned off the red buff. It's Tatsuri waiting in the wings as always. Teaks can't go anywhere near this Katarina.
So normally, The reason why Katarina and other assassins struggle is you need to be able to one-shot people in order to... I'm just keep
TJ,
talking.
we have an ongoing investigation.
I'm just keep talking.
It's open in the top lane. What happened? Find out later.
We also have an Infernal Drake. You can't, eBRO.
Couldn't script a game with this much action. Not only is it a million kills in a few minutes, but this Drake is now going to get flipped. And oh my goodness, the steal happens for Ezes. That's actually huge out of eBRO's, but Secret going to try and take the fight to the back. But Tatsuri is going to make a YouTube video right here, live on screen. A triple kill already out of Tatsuri. Godlike in 5 minutes.
His second triple of the game. And Tatsuri's still going. Running down the mid lane now to take this turret. And Teek's watching with a pair of binoculars, some opera glasses, as the first turret gets taken, shredded, a single play.
All right, well, this is what happened in our investigation. It's still open in top lane. Case closed, though, as Azza just now has the ability to overwhelm this 1v1.
Oh, that feels bad, just standing there, knowing the Ignite's gonna kill you. Turret does fall down bottom, the mid turret got tanked as well. And normally, the problem with Assassins is that you don't have enough gold to one-shot people if you don't find an early kill. As you may have noticed, Pastry Time, that is not the problem with the Assassin in this game.
It is not. We'll have another look here at the Drake fight. Watch 10 series montage in action.
Yeah, it really is just that. Azur helping out here with the stunts, that's a big contributing factor, but Tatsuri's just teeing him up and knocking him down.
Just reset City, it's the Katarina dream of Team Secret. One tower already, Tatsuri's gone legendary! They're already dead, mate! You don't have to do that, leave them alone as Hermes is gonna rescue him with a lantern as well. That's the whole reason they picked the Thresh, TJ. Gotta exit Agent Katarina diving through the enemy nexus.
It does help. Katarina needs to full commit to fights in order to do damage, and the lantern provides an escape vector. I kind of like that. There's some cool tech here from Team Secret, as there always is.
Yeah, just add some mobility to mobility. I love... Look at the items in the mid lane.
Nope.
We made a stop off.
I can't
We just
see.
stopped. All right. Yeah, that's
Taking
fine.
my glasses off, I'm blind.
I will say that the first item he was looking to complete is not the first item he completed, if you want to know how Tatsuri's day at the office is going. Secret, by the way, are also already 10,000 plus gold ahead at 6.5 minutes. That is just unreal. This is probably going to be the fastest game of the tournament at this rate.
Yeah, we're 6 minutes in, and this is the kind of lead you could normally only generate plus 20 minutes. So, I think the real question here for Team Secret is how far can they go? What does this set them up for? I hyped them up earlier. I said that I do think Team Secret punched above their weight class during their first game of the tournament. And this is proof of that, a very synced up Team Secret. This is a team that always thrives on their communication, on their team fighting, and we've seen that even here. I know Tatsuri is popping off, but the setup for him has been impeccable.
Yeah, for all the fun and games, it is worthwhile to take a step back and just say, hey, this is why people were excited about Secret, right? This is the kind of crisp gameplay you can expect, and yes, they are obviously using their gold lead and just aggressively skill checking their opponents because they can. That is the right you earn when you build this kind of lead, but how they got here and their execution in doing so is still something worth celebrating.
And our next objective here will be Drake, the second of the game, which is what Team Secret are setting up for. They'd like to get control of the jungle. That's as simple a matter as Tatsuri walking up to it.
Oh, Hermes, that's so nice. Rockabelt Flay finds 2. Ragnarok forced out. They look just a little wide as Trevor is diving in. Onto Kai. My goodness, Tatsuri's starting to spin. That's a very nice little disengage there out of eBRO there as Tatsuri knocked around by the satchel, but not dead. A good attempt, but just not enough gold to get those kills.
That's the full CC train. It's only 2 cars long, but they landed it all onto Tatsuri, and it cancelled the play. Very well done by eBRO, demonstrating they do still have a good team fight in them.
I mean, getting that Infernal, no joke, is something that's very important if we're going to see, 12 plus more minutes in this game out of eBRO. As they are going to have to push it late to get there, but at least getting that one here, I mean, they'll give this cloud over. They're not happy about it, but
I mean,
could be worse.
The damage from the Infernal Kite, oh dear.
Yeah, been a little long on that one, and of course the next kill's been lined up already out of Secret. Tatsuri in trouble. Oh, the legend has finally been felled, but Trevor is going to scoop up that status nice and quickly. A double kill out of the Fiora already. Make it 3 on by the looks of things there as Jarvan. Not long for this world. It is Varus that collects it, but they'll take the third.
That's just
Wait,
stopped.
where did the 4th happen?
Acer just walked up like he was about to join in. He got the kill. And he walked up like he was about to join. And he was like, I'm not needed here. Walked back over to the mid lane, started farming. Drake is going to get taken during this time.
One die. That's collateral. Oh, I think it's cool now.
Yeah. Rough time. And I do really like what we're trying to do here. You can see them punishing Katarina ult because the second she's spinning, she's not teleporting nearly as much. So, get that with a mega Inferno bomb. They do have the Infernal Drake, which adds up to a couple hundred, like 200, 300 at this point in the game, gold per player in terms of damage. So, I'm not trying to give you hopium. This game is pretty rough for eBRO, but they're doing a good job with what they've got, and they should be happy with that. This Team Secret giggle on the opposite side of the stage.
Yeah, definitely a good time right now as Tatsuri has made a second stop. Perhaps he was never finishing that first item. Just wanted to grab the mask for a bit of extra headgear, because now the hat is ready to go. Rabadons, you know, your very standard build order here out of Katarina. I'm not a Katarina expert, TJ, but I'm going to say this is more about context than it is about clinics. As down the bottom side, does get the engage happening. Wave is decent. A trade kill perhaps. Flesh low but not dead. And instead it's going to be the triple. Ziggs throws the Hail Mary, but doesn't even get the kill. And there's the third, the double out of Chewy. And now Teek's in trouble. Trevor is going through. Tatsuri, of course, is diving one. And it's an ace across the rift on my screen. As Team Secret are going to find Chewy the triple. He doesn't go down for it, but hey, the ace was worth it.
Dies for his cause. And that may very well be the game. In 10 minutes, Team Secret dominate. Shoutouts to our production team, our observing team, for managing to catch all this. Excellent little start to the team fight for eBRO. There's just one problem. The numbers don't add up. Azur and Chewy hold the front line. Chewy starts pumping out damage. And look at these arrows.
That's the ultimate, like, alpha move there out of Rasus. Flash it and just charges it. Just straight charges it. And eventually lets it go right at the apex there as Chewy does eventually get felled. But hey, you know what? Get the double bus off the map. Don't give eBRO any way back into this game. Keep your lead and try and close it out as swiftly as you've built it, because this lead is absolutely absurd.
Yeah. I mean, okay. I'm going to say the things because I do feel we have to. The way back into this game is Ziggs, Lucian, they can combo, they scale into late game decently. Watch the Archangel scan. I don't think we're going to get there. But you have solid wave clear between the two of them. They can sit back behind the turrets and get rid of these mini waves as they push in. So Team Secret are going to have to force a team fight behind the turret if eBRO play well. And I don't know, there's hope there, there's a chance there.
I think if they can get to that state, eBRO are the kind of team where that is something they can do, right? They're comfy in that spot. It's just the road to get there is so long and so arduous that, of course, seems very unlikely. But hey, credit to them for continuing to fight as Secret is streaming into the base. Jarvan in trouble. He's going to have to run away. Will get out with his life this time. A rare occurrence in this game. The Secret's still just sieging. Already broke mid. Looking for the bottom side as well. Could be the last call here out of eBRO's, but neither team can pull the trigger.
Team Secret have such good long-range poke here, because you're just fishing at this point if you're Hamas. See that? He's throwing out the line. See what happens. The second he lands the hook, this game's over.
Alrighty. Ooh, good Lantern. Great Lantern, actually. Trevor using the Express to get out of there.
Sometimes he's a fisherman, sometimes he's a ferret. We're all working on the water.
Still a good day's work here for James, who's had an excellent series so far. And Tatsuri's busy trying to kill somebody. Kaido is going to live.
I swear, that damage is getting a little low. Not getting a whole lot out of the ultimate. You got the orb, which of course empowers your abilities at the expense of AP. So, be suffering from the build down, but still hurting in every other facet.
Does get the Morellos done now as well, so maybe had some excess gold to go and spend. We'll see what Tatsuri gets done now. When he looks to take Kite's life the next go around. James is busy waiting in the shrubbery.
What are you doing, James?
He's just vibing.
There's nobody nearby. He's proto-belting it to just see what happens. It does successfully scare EPG away, which of course is Baron. Blink, it's gone, Pastry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm partially surprised they're even taking the Baron, but at this point, like, probably ends the game faster than not taking it.
It's a big world. What are you gonna do? Not take it?
That's true. Fisherman James does want to catch the biggest fish on the rift, and that is Baron over to Secret as a result. Now James once again just vibing. Deadman's plate just streaming behind him, looking to try and find anyone. Any customer is good at this point for him.
Yeah. Take him on a ferry, give him a freshly caught fish, make him a freshly caught fish. James is stupidly fast and just looking for engage opportunities, kind of playing this thresh like a Galio, which is a sort of interesting turn of affairs.
No righteous glory, but oh, finds flanks in the back there. Now James has to get out of there. eBRO still fighting, of course. But no kills just yet as they're in the front line. Oh my goodness, that damage is filthy. And Tatsuri, once again, is looking to maybe find the pen, gets himself killed. A bit silly there, but Azza flashes in for the stun, takes out the Ziggs, and that means I think the wave clear is dead, and the Nexus is going to be the likely finish here as Secret. I wouldn't say a stumble, but they make it a little slower than it looked in the end, but at the end, the result is still the same. A massive dominant early game, an absolute popper for Tatsuri, and a Team Secret 2-0 is their result.
We've tested the tech pastry. I'd say it's a banger.
It is a banger.
I want to see more of that Tatsuri Katarina. I'm not sure I'm convinced that it would work without the early game injection of gold, but they did such a good job engineering that early game injection that maybe that's repeatable. I also really like the other half of the tech we were talking about there, that James Thresh. That is a character he's played before. He's never played it exactly like that. Going Deadman's, going Proto Belt, using it sort of in a Galio-like way as CC engage in the primary. That's all good stuff for Team Secret, a team that are, at this point, very reasonable contenders, except for the fifth man who took a little extra second to get there on the main stage.
Must have been Trevor busy split pushing a lane or something.
Side lane.
Definitely seeing perhaps the rise of the Baron laners finding their way into the jungle. Definitely seeing picks and games open up more as the teams get comfier on the stage and maybe look to experiment more and find...
We're judging. This better be a good one. Oh, I love it. Look, they're all lined up, Pastry.
That is incredible.
That is coordination.
You know what that is? That's the James dip.
That is. It's the team captain getting them all lined up. You see how they were like behind each other in line so they all fit in frame, but they're leaning out. And they take two, just to be sure.
And a big old Chiefs there in the middle, a Secret.
It was Tatsuri.
Celebrate. Of course.
Too busy getting a penta.
Yeah.
Still flying Katarina.
He's having a great time, man, by the looks of things. That was a great time to me.
I don't think there's any greater time than getting a triple kill a minute 30 into game on Katarina.
At the first major international tournament for Wild Rift, yeah.
I mean, the game's just over at that point. You could pencil in the win, and I think for Team Secret, that's got to feel very good. They are in the, I hesitate to say weaker group, but they are in the group of life. They've got an easier path out than a team that's having to play against SBTC and the entire first seed conglomerate over there in Group A. But what we're seeing, what they're demonstrating, I think will measure very well if they're able to get out of groups at this pace.
All right, we'll see what happens, because that was an awfully fun one. And let's get a little bit more on that one as we send it over to Dagon and the desk.